Right, over the ditch, finally back. Have a few little things going on, so it's been a busy time of the year. And Luke Whittaker's stepping up to join me, and Luke, you'll be a bit of a regular from time to time. Firstly, Luke, thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks, Paul, for having me.
Different role for you. You're back training a few horses. Bit cold and miserable there, they tell me today in Christchurch.
Yeah, it's just a lovely Christchurch day, 12 degrees, raining, and a lot of wind. So just another perfect Christchurch day.
How many you and Dad working, mate?
There's about 6 there at the moment, just a few young ones, and then obviously Zoltan Boschik and a couple of other 3 and 4-year-old trotters. So yeah, keeps us busy enough. He's having shoulder surgery on Friday, so yeah, I'll be a bit more busy for the next year anyway.
That's Dad's having the shoulder surgery.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's having shoulder surgery, so yeah, it'll put him out of action for a year or so. So yeah, it'll keep me busy.
The brother did the same thing, did he not?
Yeah, he's done exactly the same thing. So they're going out in sympathy.
One's tougher than the other. We won't go there. We'll just leave that part. We'll leave that part alone. It won't happen. Zoltan, where's he at, mate?
He had his first start back on Friday night. Driver let his hands down, so he's back again Friday in the mobile. He should be a lot better, and obviously won't be as fresh. So if the driver can bring his hands, he'll be pretty competitive in that race.
Not looking at the driver, am I? Right. He's a lovely trotter. He's do you have anything earmarked for him, or just let him keep going through his grades?
Yeah, we'll just sort of see how it goes. It's hard with the handicapping system here, but hey, we'll just let him progress to where he gets to, and then maybe a trip to Aussie at some stage.
Yep, which will be very exciting to have him over, and he's a lovely trotter. I have been fortunate enough to see him in his entirety. Rightio, we're going to change things up a little bit. We will any I suppose highlights through country tracks and that we're going to do, and we'll pick that up as we go along. But it's a bit hard. How far do we want to go back? So we're going to start highlighting some of the wins. Addington on Friday night just gone. Great card of racing, and some really good winners. Headed up, I suppose, by this bloke, Bet and Win. He was super impressive. Luke, he finally gets a Group 1 win, if you like, on New Zealand shores. It's his second Group 1 win. But you've got to see the first 400, 500 metres of this race just to realise how impressive he was, let alone holding out a horse like Muscle Mountain.
Yeah, that's right, Paul. It was a super win, and after burning for that first 800 metres of the race, to sort of kick on and be as gritty as what he was very well deserved. Muscle Mountain's a very good horse in his own right, and probably had his chance to go past Bet and Win, but the way he sort of fought on was pretty special, really.
Right here, like that was tough, holding out one overall. And Gavin wasn't going to sit up and made him really work for it. And even this part here, Bob doesn't hesitate, obviously, to do the retake. He just wanted to be in front and dictate the race all the time. One of the toughest trotters in New Zealand, in Australasia, sitting sitting 1-1, enjoying a lovely run, beautiful drive by Ben Hope. It was a real, I think, statement race, if you like, for Bet and Win.
It was for sure. He's a very up and coming trotter, and each week he just keeps taking that next step. And after a 28-8, first quarter, 2,600 meter race, he was vulnerable, but that last 150 Bet and Win just dug deep, and it showed he's one of New Zealand's best trotters at the moment, and looking forward to the race by Betcher and see how he can compete against the Aussies.
Yeah, well, he's in the tab trot. The race by Betcher's for the posters.
Oh, sorry.
But it's so good. Don't worry. You won't be the first mistake you and I make for the night. It's okay. What I love about him, Luke, you just hear, like we saw just then, and I scrubbed through, obviously, a lap. He just travels on a kind rein the whole time, like beautiful hands from Bobby Butt, but just has such a beautiful way about going, doesn't he? It's effortless, and it's going to take him a long way against these really, really good trotters. And that'll be where and why he does measure up.
Yeah, agreed. Like he's obviously going to take a little bit of time to race against these best horses in Australasia. But once he gets race hard fit against them, it'll be pretty scary to think what he can actually achieve, this horse. And I think he definitely going to measure up against likes of Kiang Chucky and the Locomotive. So it's going to be one hell of a race anyway.
Yeah, and I said on another show that I did just recently, Muscle Mountain's a winner. He knows where the line is. He knows how to find the line. And that last 100 metres, if you like, of that race, just in the pair of them, They weren't given an inch up, either of them. And it's great to see. It's really great to see two really class horses going to the line like that. And from Stacey and David's point of view, they would be wrapped to come out on top. So it's exciting, and we will touch on the Cambridge races coming up very shortly. But yeah, he's going to be right in it. Probably needs a barrier, but he's not on his own there. There's a lot of them going to need barriers, so it's an exciting race. The other race on the night was the Hector's Premium Gin Autumn Free for All. This horse, a lot of Aussies won't know about this horse. I had a look at his record. I had it just written down there before Pinseeker. Only his sixth win. This is a great field, and it's not going to be his last win, that's for sure. He's got a real future, Pinseeker, in the better class races.
Yeah, that's right. 155.5, 54.8, and 27.6. Hey, he was rock hard fit leading into it, and a couple of them were fresh up. But the way he sort of run away from them at the end was, it showed why he's got a slot for that TAB Betcher race in 3 weeks' time. So, it was a very good win by the Johnny Cox train runner.
Yeah, Coxie's a great driver, very underrated. Just stayed out of that early burn. He does have gate speed, but he stayed out of that early burn. And once he saw a beach ball just there coming, he gave Gavin Smith no reason to think anything else other than hand up to me because I'm coming and I'm not going to stop. So you said there before, Riquero Rocket, Group 1 winner in his own right. But happy to hand up and sit on him. But you'll see here when I scrub forward, he put them all to the sword down the back straight, and just impressive win.
Yeah, for sure. And there's a few horses in this race that in the next sort of 6 months will probably take that step up into the open class grades, like Renegade and a couple of others. So they were fresh up, but to see him run away like he sort of did, can see why he obviously got that slot.
It's just about here. You see like a little horse like Vesemir, he's off the bit for the Purdons, but he races like this quite a lot, and he'll take ground off these horses, all good horses going forward. Yet he can't make any ground. Like that, I'm not picking on the horse. It's just the sheer speed that Pinseeker is showing up in front. These horses aren't able to go with him. And like you said, he's rock hard fit. That was only his third run, so there's probably still some improvement in him. But he did it very, very easy and there. And now securing a spot, which is exciting for Coxie and Kim and going forward. So he's a lovely, lovely horse, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. And, for someone like Johnny Cox that's been in the game for a long time and does a great job with his horses, it's great to see him reaping the rewards to get a horse in a race like this.
Yep, and that's exactly right in the Betcher. 27.6 last quarter and 54.8. Just great times. They're Australian times, not being disrespectful to the Kiwis. You generally don't do those sorts of times, but he just carved them out easy. And, as I said, won't be the last race that horse wins the Sun down by the seaside.
Yeah, 100%.
Anything else out of Addington? This is where it gets a little bit all over the shot here, this show, so don't you worry about that. But did we have any other results to highlight out of Addington, mate?
Probably not. There were probably just a few, like obviously 2-year-old race was trifected by Mark and Nathan, 3 professional displays, and they all weren't far away from each other, so there wasn't any standout, but just obviously the 2-year-olds heading forward.
Yep, so that was Special Occasion beating Secret Wish and Fitzroy.
Correct.
Gene Feast, I was going to say that's got an Australian feel to it, and it does indeed. So, Gene Feast, the Oda there, better to like some legends. So, she's got an interesting first starter, actually, with another interesting name, which we will touch on a little bit later on. Rightio, Auckland, Friday Night Lights was very, very busy. It was a massive night of racing. Which one do we want to start on, Lukey, before I get myself into trouble here? Because there was 3 terrific races on the night.
I reckon start with Beside Me.
Yep. Rightio, we can definitely do that. This was a phenomenal win. It was just waiting for this to load up. But, this is a horse with a massive future, that's for sure. And, again, I'll start it off with this at the start. You can see Carter there just having – it's quite cool, actually. He's assessing where everyone is and what's going on, but effectively takes the early option just to sit back, let everything unfold in front of him. But I reckon, I don't know what you think, Luke. I got the impression he possibly would have liked to have got going earlier, but probably just thinking of the future with this mare as well.
Yeah, I sort of think, obviously if the horse in front of him probably got out a lot better than what it did, he probably would have gone forward, but he obviously didn't have a choice. So he's obviously let them play out early and got into the race at the right time. And, when he pulled it out of the 1200, the speed it showed to get around them as quick as what it did. She could be anything, this horse.
He had his intentions too, didn't he? Because he sits at one cart wider in case someone pops out underneath him. He was like, I'm going quick and I don't want anyone to interrupt my run. Carter was just going to find the top.
Yeah, that's right. And, obviously Carter being such a young driver, he's done a lot in his career, and, competing in what he has lately, it's taken his driving to the next level, and just drives with so much confidence in his horses and where he puts them to. So, he knew he was driving the best horse in the race, and she was obviously up in grade, but the time she had run and the form she had been doing, is he knew what horse he had under her, and just the way she did it too, like, 55, 155.6, 54.6, 27 flat, and it's hard to even look like he's moved on her. Like, that's the scary thing about it. Like, what could this horse be? She's running times that probably 3-year-old fillies probably shouldn't, and she's doing it easy too.
Nah, absolutely. And the horses chasing too were no duffers, Wine Light and also Betastic, both really, really nice horses in their own rights, and good futures, and just couldn't go with her.
Nah, that's right. And, Betastic's a Group 1 winner, and Wine Light's second favourite next week for the NZB Millions race. So, yeah, it shows what kind of horse she could be.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's exciting for harness racing in the Southern Hemisphere, and that's what this show tries to do, because I think people need to be able to sit up and watch these horses, bet and win, marketplace. We'll touch on marketplace now. We might actually go straight to that. Now I'll get the video keyed up, but there's so many great horses about to step out. It is ridiculous. Now, one thing I'm not going to do, Lukey, I am not going to bother showing anyone the start of this race. Right,
yeah, just shot from the 200.
Right through. Well, I'll give you a chance because it takes 25 seconds to cover it. So, but this is Ribera in front. You want to watch the horse last, Luke. This is phenomenal these times, is it not?
Oh, it's crazy. Standing there watching the race the other day at Eddington, it's quite amazing to see how quick this horse is. Like 26-1, and he's come from last, made up, 8 lengths, and I sort of clocked at 25-1, which I haven't seen many horses get home in 25-1 at Alexandra Park. So yeah, it's he's another horse too. Like, I'd love to see him go to Aussie at some stage and take on those good 3-year-olds as well, because as you can see, our 3-year-old fillies and 3-year-old colts and geldings, they'll take on these Aussies, and I think they'll give them a very good run for it.
Oh, this horse will. Ribera is a beautiful horse, lovely high-speed horse as well. So we can't forget him. You should always turn your phone off, Lukey. You've got to remember these things when you're doing these sorts of shows. It's going ballistic too. Anyone watching, I can't actually blow that up, but you want to go back, watch this race live, and watch that actual spot right there. The look Mark Purdon, I would hate to know the last time Mark Purdon's copped a shock in his life, but he would have been thinking nothing's going to catch Ribera because he's too fast. And right at that point, with about 50 to go, he has a sustained look. It's like, where's that coming from? So it's just brilliant to watch. As I said, you don't see Mark have too many big looks, but yeah, watch that one on your camera. It's phenomenal. Ribera's outstanding. He's a lovely horse. We can't underestimate what he's doing. One thing he does have is tactical nous. Settles beautifully. What they go 31.4, I think it was down the back. Did it work out or something like that? It was ridiculous. And to be able to ask that horse to go, the second horse got the chocolates. He's just one of those unlucky horses he's a great horse in his own right. He's just got some, tougher opposition racing around him. But, going to be super exciting. We will preview that tonight. It's a bit interesting now with the barrier draws, but as boring a race as it looked on paper, when you do the times 22.3, 57.3 and 26.2 leader leads, you think, well, that's not a race to watch. It is dead set a race. I reckon it'd be interesting to see the YouTube views from HRNZ, because I reckon they'll be smashing them out on that one, the amount of people looking at it.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see a horse get home like that after the sectionals that Mark got away with, and obviously Ribera having a couple of runs under his belt, he was always going to be hard to beat once Marketplace sort of got so far away. But yeah, it was pretty crazy to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was indeed. We're not going to show the Lincoln Farms Founders Cup we we can. Well, actually, I can. I'll just get your thoughts on it. It'll take me 2 seconds to get it up. But of course, Jollymont winning for Anna Donnelly, Tony Hurley here in the bike. Things just take a little while to work sometimes down here. I just got to pedal a bit faster, Licky, if you're wondering what I'm doing. But good win. Good to see Anna getting it. Continuing. What's a great run she's having just recently with these horses, and went terrific. There was a couple of eye catches in this out the back, a couple of horses swooping down late, and Mwanga, I think, still struggling to get out.
Yeah, for sure. Anna does a great job with her horses, and this wee horse, he's always been around the money in these sort of races, and it was great to see him actually pick up this race. 1,700 metres, and it was another great drive by Tony, and there was a couple of eye-catching runs late, obviously Republican Party and Moanga's still trying to get out. So it was just great to see this horse get a win, and, Anna, she does a lot for the game and does a great job. So for her to pick up another group win was, great to see.
Yeah, and she's having a terrific run. She really is, and it's one of those stables. When she presents them, you've got to watch them and back them because they go terrific. Bit of an upset. The next race, the Majestic Horse Floats Green Line Cup, and this was one of those races you did want to highlight. The standing start, Lukey. It was interesting, but Kai Valley Hotspur, great to see him back in form. Oscar probably had every chance.
Yeah, for sure. The drive by Crystal was probably the winning of the race, really, and she sort of knew that Oscar had travelled and done a lot of racing in Aussie, and obviously come back sort of last week. And when she went for this horse, she knew what horse she had under him, so she knew she had that 10-metre advantage on Oscar, and he was great in defeat. But yeah, a great drive by Crystal in the end.
Yeah, and they both stepped pretty similarly. But all of a sudden, there's another 10 metres in there because she was able to get him away so quickly, Crystal was. But, I was pretty impressed with this move, like going forward. She was committed to going forward hard. And then he found a renewed form. I mean, people might say, oh, he's just one of those horses that makes up the numbers in the free-for-all. He's a multiple Derby winning horse, this horse. He's a serious horse, and it's great to see him back in this sort of form and, what he might be able to achieve as well going forward.
Yeah, 100% agree with you there, Paul. He's always underrated in those big trot races, but the one thing he does have, like you see in the races, he's got great manners, and he puts himself into the race. And obviously, a horse going forward, and especially in those country cups races, he's just got such good manners. He can step, get handy, and obviously a great drive by Crystal, and winning of the race, really.
Yeah, it is indeed, and it's good to see. Brecon Farm's great supporters of Campbell's Comments because they bred him, but I think it's great to see these horses getting around into, or getting back into some form. As I said, I think when he won the Derby and that, Chris Alford sort of suggested that he was the sort of horse that, you might be able to take travelling worldwide because of the strength and the speed. Now, I don't know what went wrong, whether just the way he came back, I don't know, but yeah, he didn't win a race last year at all. He's now 2 from 4 this season, only 3 the season before. So in 2021, he won 8. He's a lovely horse. So hopefully they can continue to get him back into these winning races, winning form, and winning these good races, and highlighting it because we need all these good horses, mate.
We do, and obviously it creates turnover and it gets people to the races. The Cambridge races in 3 weeks' time. It's going to be a great night of racing, and to see the horses that obviously looking to come over, it's going to be one hell of a meeting anyway. I think it's one that you can put on the calendar anyway.
Yep, I'm going to be there. Looking forward to it. I'll be there for the cocktail and then be there on race night. Thanks to Brecon Farms, Ken Brecon and Karen, to get me to come across and cover it. So the Aussies will be able to see a lot of it. Hopefully, there's a few more Aussies coming across as well. So which will be great for the it's great for racing. Anything else to highlight out of that meeting? Of course, Jason Over. I love it when Luck Chin wins a race. It's one of the great stories all the time. Stella Rouge, beautifully bred filly, getting the chockies for Stonewall. Anything else from you, Lukey?
No, I think you covered off the most of it anyway there, Paul.
Very, very good. Rightio. Okay, so now this is Lukey. I didn't give him anything. I just said you want to come on to the show, and he's done his own homework. Things to highlight, Luke. You got a few things, achievements that have happened over the journey just in the last few weeks. I think maybe 3 weeks within the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, Tony Hurley, 3,700 driving wins aboard Jollymont last Friday. So as you can see, he's still one of the best in New Zealand, and he's not far away from that 4,000. So yeah, to get he's going to be one of the top leading winners in New Zealand of all time. So yeah, obviously working for Tony and learning off him from a young age is probably reason why I'm half the driver I was going through as a junior. And yeah, to see him still dominating New Zealand harness like he has been for so many years, it's great to see.
No, and it's good timing too. What you said there before with the Methven Drivers Challenge coming up with. I think the first year when I went there, they called them the three wise men, Tony Hurley, Maurice McKendry and Ricky May, and they drove in every race. So it looks like they refined it a little bit, but they've got a great day of racing with plenty of representatives there on the day. So it's going to be a huge meeting at Methven on the 13th, I think it's set, 13th of April. So that'll be a great meeting for people to be a part of there at Methven going forward. So make sure you're a part of that. I think they just said there's 6 penalty-free races, and 3 of the legends, Tony Hurley, Maurice McKendry, and Ricky May. So a great day of racing, Lukey, for people to be a part of.
Yeah, it's always a great day out at teams events. So yeah, Methven's a great track, and those boys, they love going down there and having a beer and trying to drive a few winners.
It's one of the great stories. Ricky drove a winner for Johnny Morris, and he didn't tell me, it's one of my worst interviews, but he didn't tell me until afterwards that he was actually in Inky Lord's sulky when he won the race. And at the end of it, I did the interview and everything else like that, and he goes, "Oh, how cool was this?" He said, he actually won in Inky's sulky. And I was like, "What do you mean?" He said, "Oh, that's his sulky." And I was like, "I'll kill you. I'll kill you." I actually might have, it might be one of the funny ones, because I might have dropped the F-bomb at the start of it, didn't cut that part out, which I do from time to times, and it got a lot of ratings for a fair while until I had to pull it down and realise what was going on. So anyway, that happens. Let's go from there. Sorry, mate, I'll get sidetracked, but that's okay.
900 training wins for Greg and Nina Hope, driven by son Ben over the Westport Carnival last weekend. So obviously a big effort by them to train 900 winners in their right. So they've obviously had some great horses along the way, and they're still getting winner after winner. So that was another great milestone to tick off for them. Another 100 away to 1,000 will be a great effort.
Yeah, and she's now the leading female trainer, I believe, in New Zealand history. That's correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's big effort.
Yeah, is indeed. Rightio, next one.
Regan Todd, 300 training wins down at Invercargill a couple of weekends ago. So obviously a young trainer he's flying and does an unbelievable job with the horses he has at an unbelievable strike rate too. So he's just going to keep going year after year. And, he's got some very good horses behind him too. So, to see them step out and in these bigger races, another Group 1's not far away.
No, we highlighted 2 of them there, Moanga and Marketplace. But I think the great thing about Regan is the fact of taking a long time off last year. And I think anyone thinking, I've got a nice horse in the camp, I can't afford to go away for a holiday. I think he was away nearly 6 weeks, went over to Badminton, enjoyed himself, missed a couple of races, and reassessed, come back, reassessed, and just amazing the transformation. Was always a good trainer, but his strike rate's just gone to another level now.
Yeah, it's just an unreal job with the horses he does, and the way he presents into the track it shows why he gets winner after winner and the results he does. So it's a big effort by Regan.
Yeah, and I do stuff for NZB. They're great supporters of Campbell's Comments as well, and being on those tours, it's not fluke what he does. Watching the homework he does, looking at horses. I think he only bought a couple of horses at the sales. He didn't go overboard. He got what he wanted though, and he knows what he's after, and he does his homework and he understands the position he's in. And any of the Aussies who don't know Regan, one, if you get a chance to meet him, go and meet him because he's a great bloke. But also just start following his stable. I think it's it's amazing, and even his relationship with Goose Robbie Ed Close. He doesn't work for him anymore. They kept it, like he's got a great working relationship with him, as well as Craig Ferguson. He's really, I think it's awesome. I think so many people need to be aware of it, because there'll be people there, like you and I will both know it. We can't go away for a holiday because I really think something of this horse, and I want to get him right and all the rest. Well, they don't come much better than Marketplace. And he was in his stable when he went on that holiday. And he come back and he's gone enormous. So pretty impressive.
Yeah, 100%.
Team Teal? Was that where we were?
Last one, Sheree Tomlinson, 300 driving winners too.
You're a good man because Sheree's sponsored by, don't you? Woodlands.
She is, and she is a cousin to me, so I better give that a mention.
Is she really?
Yeah, she is. She is second cousin. So if I didn't say that, and she'd slip me around the ear at the races. So yeah,
Yeah.
300 driving wins, big effort by Sheree.
Yeah, it is indeed, and flies under the radar a lot as well. Just goes about her job nice and quiet.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, that then leads us into Team Teal, because of course she would have been having the teal pants on when she won those. That's finished up, but great results for everyone involved with Team Teal, mate.
Yeah, it is ovarian cancer. Each year for them to do it's a great cause, and $23,495 raised by New Zealand. I don't know the stat from Australia. I was hoping you might have had that, Paul, but it's something that's a great cause, and for people to get behind it each year, it's great, and yeah, it needs to continuing to keep happening.
79 winners driven by the females for 6 weeks. That in itself is a great stat, let alone the fact they're raising money. I think that's great. Competing on equal playing field. I don't think there was a lady drivers race. If there was, there'd be only one. Effectively, they're batting against the boys the whole time. Sam Otley was 16, Crystal Hackett 13, Sheree Tomlinson with 9 headed up there. But also a lot of fun as well with sulky races. Frocks at the trots. I don't know if you were there at Addington and went up to see fashions on the field at all, but I know Duncan McPherson was up there as well. So some great initiatives and well done. And New Zealand do it very, very well. There's no worries there, mate. They do the prostate cancer as well. Going forward, there's a few challenges there, I think, with racing and jumping out of planes. So, but well done to New Zealand and the ladies of New Zealand for raising, as you said, just shy of $25,000.
Yeah, it's a great effort. Well done to the girls.
And I have no idea of the Australian. I'll tell you next week. All right. I'll work that one out and go from there. See, Matty Markham generally looks after me. You're just throwing me under the bus. You're not bad at all in that. So, rightio. The other one, of course, two bits of news. We'll touch on. Actually, I'll leave one, but Brittany Graham, of course, starting today as well, which will show a different light on trackside. And because trackside look after Matty Markham, they bring him to me on this show. So that's going to be a different demographic, and it's going to be interesting viewing going forward, Lukey.
Yeah, it will be, and I sort of feel sorry for you Aussies because she does such a good job over there, and I think it's you guys lost and New Zealand's gained. So, it's great to see her over here, and then the dimension she puts into presenting and the media is unbelievable, and especially with her driving and obviously training knowledge, it just brings that next dimension and to what she does. So, yeah, as I said, you guys lost in our game.
Hopefully she's watching this. I will say one thing. She's going to struggle with the cold. If you're saying it's cold there today, she's going to struggle with the cold. She doesn't like Melbourne cold, let alone Christchurch cold. That's really going to bloody season her up. That's for sure.
I think she's going to get here today and probably get back on the plane and go home. So she only realised that this is spring, this is not winter. And as Corbin said, one piece of advice, you'll need a jacket. She'll need about 3. So especially those -3, -4 mornings. Yeah, good luck to her.
Brad Steele, when he turned up, he'd never seen frost before. Like these Queenslanders get it pretty easy. Don't you worry about that. So, yep. But anyway, it's going to be great. And, hopefully we'll get to see some of the interviews going backwards as well with geo-blocking. Unfortunately, we don't get to see trackside as much. But I will say, if you're an Australian, if you watch Sky Active, is the best one to watch. Watch it on your tablet. If you get Sky Active on your tablet, they do cross trackside. Well, Sky cross to the trackside viewing about 3 minutes ago. Generally, you'll start picking the audio, but you can have the vision. There'll just be no audio, and they'll pick the audio up within the last 3 minutes, so you can get a bit of insight anyway. So yeah, go to Sky Active on your app if you're an Australian, and it's the best way to be able to keep up with it. So yeah, unfortunately, Kiwis don't get that, but that's okay. Rightio. Fields, we're going to go to Auckland. Is that correct? Am I right or not?
Yeah, correct.
Yep, we'll highlight Auckland. We might touch on whether there's any others to highlight going forward, but a magic card of racing. Now, I will say one thing. I got corrected on this by the great Martin Pearson. We've got 2 heats of two finals of the NZB Standardbred Harness Million. A lot of people drop an S on it, me included, but I haven't since Martin's corrected me. Million, 3-year-old filly, and the 3-year-old colts and gelding as well. But yeah, definitely the harness Million. Martin will be very happy. And if you haven't paid up for your size stakes, make sure you contact Martin Pearson. Very passionate man. He'll be disgusted in this shirt that I'm wearing. He'd be okay with yours, Lukey. He thinks that's okay, actually.
I think we'll need some new shirts soon, Paul. So we'll have to get matching at some stage.
We'll get Marty to start taking you out. Right, which race we're going to start with?
I think the colts and geldings.
You had to do that to me, did you? I knew you would do that. Right. Actually, I can do that easy. This is simple. We'll go hit that button there, makes it even easier, and then I'll go to there. Rightio. Great field. I don't know who drew out the marbles, but Mark and Nathan, have they been cruel by barrier draws?
Yeah, they have. It's a funny thing, these races, because a lot of the times in these big group ones, you'll see trainers have horses next to each other, and I can never work it out. But here's another example was, Mark and Nathan have got 3 horses, and they drew next to each other, all 3 of them. And obviously, Ribeiro drawing 7. So I always look at the field and think, how do these horses draw next to each other? But obviously, from last Friday, Marketplace is going to be hard to beat again. So, got the chocolates and Ribeiro. They beat him last Friday, but I think with the run under his belt and from the good barrier draw, they'll be positive, and I don't think they'll beat him this week.
Didn't show a lot of gate speed last week. Went back. He has got blinding gate speed. I think it was 26-1 on Cup night. So you suspect that if they want to use him early, he'll find the front. And then the way he handled the track last week, he's going to be mighty hard to beat.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously the two that beat him last week, Marketplace and got the chocolates, and Ribeiro got the chocolates is probably going to get across to the fence first in front of him. So he's probably the only one that can give him probably a bit of a run for his money.
It's a great field, though, isn't it? There's a lot of horses in this race, with a big future. Sugar Ray Lincoln, the full brother to copy that. He's fast. He's green, but he is fast. He probably needs another 6 months under his belt. Demon Blue, we know how fast he is as well. Better Deal, Midnight Mickey, they're lovely horses, and even Ribeiro, like they're horses with a big future. It's great for New Zealand harness racing, and with the increase in stake money, so much stake money around, a lot of these horses are going to stay. A lot of these horses would have been earmarked by Aussies to potentially buy and race in Australia. It's going to be very hard to get these horses now.
Yeah, well, the only thing that's probably stopping them is the rating system, but hey, with the money up for offer in the next few years for them, hopefully we can keep them on New Zealand soil.
Does he win Marketplace?
Yes, 100% he does. The run from last week, I just can't see them beating him this week after the run under his belt.
No, I think you're spot on. Right, the race 5 at 7:34, so 5:30 for the Aussies. The NZB Standardbred Harness Million for the 3-year-old fillies, and I think there was a pretty good lead-up race in this, and had a good hit out in Winelight, and gets that barrier draw. The stablemate's no duffer either, though, but it is a good field. I said before about Stella Rouge as well, was terrific last week, and a couple of horses even out the back with trailing draws might go okay as well.
Yeah, it's a very good fillies field, and with Winelight drawing 1 and Stella Rouge drawing 5, I think there probably shouldn't be so much in the market between them. Obviously Stella Rouge $1.60 and Winelight $5.50. Stella Rouge was very good last week and will improve off the run too. But Winelight behind a very special horse and beside me, I actually think Winelight can actually get the better of Stella Rouge here.
Yep, yeah, I don't disagree with that. Arafura is well, I reckon it'll be the sort of horse that Hayden and Amanda will be pretty happy, to get another 6 months underneath, because its first win was just astronomical. I think that was at Omakau when it did win there, but it was just unbelievable to watch it. It's green, it's raw, but yeah, you never know from that barrier 2. It might be able to, turn the tide. It does change very quickly, that horse.
Yeah, it does. So it's going to be a very good race, and the money up for offer is very good again. So it's great to see all these horses race for good money.
Yeah, it is indeed. And Little Horse, I don't mind. It might be a bit stiffer this week, but Debbie Lincoln, a horse with a bit of a future, gets the opportunity for a good trailing draw, whether it can keep up with Wine Light out of the gate, you never know. It might be able to sneak into a place. But yeah, it's a lovely daughter of Lather Up that can find the line terrifically. So yeah, the other race that is going to be a lot of Aussies are going to be wanting to watch this, and there's a little bit of stable news out of this race too, Lukey. But the Auckland Free for All, time-honoured race. Some great names have won this race over the journey, and it's a good field. And the barrier draws have really opened this race up.
Yeah, they have. I haven't actually seen that Chase the Dream. It must be a very late scratching because I was only looking a couple of hours ago. So he was actually my play in the race.
He's
I
not out.
thought
He's not out.
oh,
It's a. Don't worry about that.
oh, if the driver look, it's just small on my screen. I thought it was
No,
scratching.
when you were saying that, I'm looking and I'm like, no,
Yeah, it
it's not.
looks on my screen. It looks like a line through it. That's
Yeah,
why I was
definitely
going
don't.
to say. I was like, I was sure I was looking at that thinking he wasn't scratched 2 hours ago.
No,
Yeah, I actually don't mind. I think Chase the Dream will be a very. I think he'll be a different horse this week, and from the good gate. Very good horses in it, and obviously Republican Party's run last week was super, and sooner the better coming back from Aussie, and Jollymont obviously last start when it gets a wide barrier again, but. Don't Stop Dreaming, second row draw. I see he's got new trainers, Hayden and Amanda Cullen. It's going to be a great race.
isn't it ever? Like it really, it is. Like he's been terrific over here. Don't Stop Dreaming. I think the only bad run he had was the qualifier for the Miracle Mile. But other than that, he was outstanding. He was awesome, winning the Terrain Cup 3 starts ago. And then I was there last week and I saw him after the race, about 20 minutes after the race, and he was actually trying to eat my shoulder when I was trying to do an interview. He pulled up so good. Anyone wondering how that race might have affected him? It didn't. He was ready to go again, I reckon, an hour later. So, yeah, he was phenomenal. Sooner the better is the same thing. I'll go as far as say he didn't really have a blowout last week, which is ridiculous to say when they're going around in a Miracle Mile. But, he just never got a clear crack at him.
No, he didn't. And he's when he gets into those bigger races in Aussies, he's a horse that's always forgotten. And
Yep.
he was so unlucky in that final. And yeah, it's a shame to see him never get out because the week before he was super. So obviously coming back to New Zealand soil, and he just loves that mile trip. So yeah, second row draw, but I think it's a great race.
Moanga, does the inside the second line, is that going to be an issue, you think?
Depending on the speed maps, I haven't really done them as much as what I probably should have. But no, I don't think so. I think Chase the Dream gets out good enough, and if he can get gaps in the straights like last week, he was very unlucky. And yeah, it'll be an interesting race anyway.
Yeah, it is, and there's horses there we're not talking about with immense ability. Kango, there's nothing to say he couldn't do one of those runs that he does, park up outside the leaders and keep fighting on. You got Dalton Shard and him last week's winner Jollymont. I don't think he's going to find the top today, but and it's definitely a big step up for him. But he's in great form.
Yeah, exactly right, and obviously the barrier draw is a bit of a dampener, but yeah, it's Friday night's going to be it's a great night of racing from Auckland.
Yeah, it is indeed. What else have we got on that card, Lucky, to highlight for maybe some of the Aussies? It is a good card of racing, great prize money, and good fields. Good to see Auckland getting good fields, mate.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And they obviously struggle at times to get numbers, and to see the fields full is great, isn't it?
Yep, it is. Big fields going through. I'm just quickly looking through them as well myself. But they're the three main races on the. Oh no, that's right. We've got this one. Look, we better. I'll throw you under the bus a little bit. But the Brecon Farm Young Guns. This is the first of the heats. Some very well. This is one of the horses I want to highlight. This is for the 2-year-old colts and geldings. Some pretty impressively bred first starters stepping out in this. Fugitive is a down by the seaside, I believe. Andretti. Owned by Gene Feast. That was one of the horses I was mentioning before there. It was pretty plain its first trial, but its second trial was a lot better. And they must have thought something of it, Lukey, because they've got it up on the North Island and stepping it up straight away in a good camp. And then also down the bottom there, Yankee Flyby for Andre Portama, beautifully bred horse by American Ideal out of Kahlua Flyby, or Kathy's Flyby, actually, sorry. Yeah, lovely bred horse too. So good little race. It'd be interesting to see that one.
Yeah, the 2-year-olds are always great races. Like they're obviously young horses, and a few of them have had race starts, and a few of them haven't. So yeah, obviously, couple of heats, and yeah, it'd be good to watch them and watch them and go over them and see if there's any nice 2-year-olds out of them.
Yep, and then the fillies in the next race, Angelic Copy for Ray Green and Nathan Delaney, 2 from 2. So small field, unfortunately, for that one. And the last race, it's actually that's a small field, but it's good. You can get those trots sometimes on the North Island where they'll only have 5 or 6 horses. So that in itself is good. And I think, Lukey just went disappearing, but that's okay. I think from memory, Lukey, there's a Cambridge meeting on today, not far off starting off. So they are good fields, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Cambridge tonight and Eddington tomorrow. So there's plenty of meetings. They had 4 meetings down at Invercargill last week in the space of 9 days. So
yep,
there's plenty of horses in New Zealand anyway. That's for sure.
Yep. No, we want to keep them over there too if we can. Keep them there. Get the Aussies looking across, going from there. I did notice. I think it's at. It won't click. Addington tonight, Friday night. I think you got the first year 2-year-old trotters too, which will be. No, it might be tomorrow night, is it? It might be.
I think it's Friday, isn't it?
There
Friday?
it is. Yep.
Yeah, Friday.
Yep. 5 trotters stepping out, so starts to get exciting too. Towards the back end of the season, people love to see these trotters. So yeah, a bit of compulsory viewing there for the Aussies as well. So some a couple of 6-packs. Forget what they were all by, but anyway, that's okay going forward. Right, Aluki, we race April 4th. I think I'm right. Yep, got it right there as well. The Betcher, bit of news coming out around the Betcher, and that we mentioned there before about Pin Seeker. So a little bit of the shuffling of the decks, if you like, and a few things happening in that field. How's it all shaping up, you think?
Yeah, I think it's, like I said earlier, 2 great races, and yeah, the barrier draws are going to be interesting because I think any horse in the race can actually win both of them. So there's obviously still a lot of slots to go. So yeah, it's with the Aussies coming over and obviously Don Hugo coming over now. It's shaping to be a great race.
Great to get him, Don Hugo. Be interesting. He's a different horse. He's a cool dude. He's not in the same size stature, if you like, of Don't Stop Dreaming. He's a bit bigger than him, and sooner the better. But he's not overly big. But when you see him on the track, he's a monster. And and he's a cool horse. I don't know too many horses that have won. Well, they can't have because the Eureka's only been run for 2 years. But the Inter Dominion, now the Miracle Mile, he's really stamping himself. So it would be great for the Kiwis to be able to see him in the flesh, and also great to get Lukey McCarthy back to New Zealand. He does an awesome job for harness racing everywhere. He's one of the coolest dudes going around. Nothing seems to faze him. So it'd be awesome to see him, hitting the Cambridge track.
Yeah, it will be. And obviously Don Hugo lines up this weekend at Menangle for a head out before he comes over the week later. And obviously Leap to Fame, he lines up at Albion too in the free for all. So a couple of watches there to see how they go Saturday night.
You would have seen Leap to Fame in Aussie?
Yeah, I've seen him a few times. So he's an unbelievable horse, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a bit different. They'll know he's at Cambridge when he walks in. Don't worry about that. Everyone will know he's there. But just a full-on professional racehorse, and just amazing the job that he does. Even getting beat last week by Don Hugo. So last week, anyway, 2 weeks ago maybe. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, crazy. It's we were talking. He was how many wins in a row, and to get beat by a horse like Don Hugo, it just shows that the amount of great horses we have in Australasia. It's the viewing's unreal, and for them to come to Cambridge is special for New Zealand because it gets people there, and I'd say it's going to be one hell of a crowd.
Yep, and we want people there. That's what we do want. We want the Aussies there as well. We want people just going over for the night. The Tab Trot as well on the same night. We mentioned there before, Bet and Win, Muscle Mountain, Oscar Bonavina. Those spots are starting to fill pretty quickly. There's a couple of Aussie horses that are still vying, trying to get a spot. Kiang Chucky was super winning the Hammerhead 2 starts ago. I don't think he's got a spot secured yet. And there's a horse that ran, I'm going to say 3rd, maybe 4th anyway last year, called RC Phoenix, who's brutal over a mile. He hasn't got a spot either, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I was talking to Paddy the other day, and he couldn't believe that they haven't got a slot yet. So, and it's he was very, very, very good last week at Menangle, and to run the time he did, like 1:51.8, it's crazy to see what trotters can run nowadays. Like, we would never ever have thought that trotters were ever going to run that quick. And yeah, it's like I said, that race is going to be just, pardon,
No, you're right.
and it's just going to be as good as race as the Betcher. So if we can get King and Chucky here and get the Lee boys here, it'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think last year it was a better race. I'll get into trouble for saying it was a better race than the Grins, but I do reckon on paper, like on the finish results, I think it was just an outstanding race with Just Believe beating, I can't think of the horse of Pat Driscoll's. All of a sudden his name just left me and I shouldn't be allowed to do that. But
Only the Bruce?
Yep, that's him. Yep. He was phenomenal. He's on his way back. Unfortunately, didn't get back in time for this race, but he's coming up pretty quickly. I think I'm Ready Jet's going to come across by the looks. She's going to take the barrier advantage and take that slot that Pat's got. So it looks like she's coming across at the minute. So that makes it interesting as well because Queen Elita's going in there as well. So it's not a given now you're going to draw one.
No, that's right. And another horse that was super out of the Group 1 at Addington was also Hidden Talent. She was super behind, obviously, Bet and Win and Muscle Mountain. The speed she's got, if she can get a soft run along the markers following the right one, she's another horse that's, probably likely to get a slot as well. So, and obviously there's a horse in Queensland that's, doing a very good job and not as promised, Graham Dwyer. So, if he comes too, like he's an up and coming trotter as well. So that race it's shaping to be as good as a Betcher race. So two great races.
Don't be mistaken too by not as promised as form. Graham pointed out to me there, and I had a few people question it because it wasn't a new track record, but off the 2100 metre standing start, he actually broke the track record. It doesn't get put on his own individual time broke that track record. So, he's a serious horse. There's quite a few people still here trying to put up their name for a few other horses. Rocking with Attitude, Dave Miles was expressing interest in getting across there as well, trying to use advantage of that the mare. And I think people think it's just going to draw barrier one, but when there's 3 and 4, they go into their own individual barrier draws as well. You don't just get barrier one. It's not like it's given to you. So, the people are, it's going to add a lot of intrigue. And the more mares, Lukey, the wider the geldings and these fast class, like, Bet and Win and some of these other horses might have to draw the second line, which is not ideal either.
No, it's not, but it only shapes for the race. So, the better we can get all these horses there and get them with slots. It's something I'm looking forward to. I won't make it there, obviously. Mum and Dad will be living it up in Aussie, seeing the sisters. So I've got to take control for a few days. So unfortunately, I won't get there. So
you got to do some work, mate.
Yes, someone's got to keep the place going.
All right, Lukey, thank you. I am going to catch up with Cam Bray and also David Branch. Hopefully, I didn't realise there was races on, so I may struggle a little bit with David, but we'll just see how we go. Thank you for joining me, mate, and I will be calling on you for the next few weeks at least, and we'll even sub Matty out from time to time when he does eventually come back. He's got a bit going on, Matty, and I haven't even tried him. I haven't even reached out to him. You can just anyone that follows his socials. But we'll definitely be using young Lukey. You come a long way, mate. I remember back in the dentistry days, you were a cheeky little whippersnapper on the other end of the phone. So you have matured.
I had to at some stage.
It just took a while, didn't it?
Yeah, it
did. Mate, thank you. Really appreciate you giving me the time. And as I said, we'll be catching up in the future.
Thanks, Paul.
Starting to charge, Barillo needs room. It's Judine in front of Bluey. Logan Rock, Barillo, the post comes. Or maybe Judine.
After Seaside Rose, now 2. Favourite kicking well. Pioneer holding 3rd. Quinn later place chance, but 5 Crowns too sharp. 5 Crowns beats Seaside
by a length and a half. Oscar Bonavina finds 3rd, 4th gear, 5th gear down the outside, but has he left it too late? Kai Valley Hotspur's in front. Oscar Bonavina's charging, but Kai Valley Hotspur, Crystal Hack.
Just You Wait in front of the 100. Neela Marie Crystal closing. Just You Wait holding from Neela Marie Crystal. Just You Wait needing the line and got it.
Vera has a very sharp sprint on him. Leads by 2. Sugar Ray Lincoln got the chocolates. Better's Anvil. Marketplace right down the outskirts. Rubera got the chocolates. Marketplace is flooding home right down the outside. Rubera got the chocolates. Rubera Rivera wins, got the chocolates, Park.
And when the leader, he's a length in front, Midnight Dash, Muscle Mountain peels, it's Bet and Win too clear, Muscle Mountain closing brilliantly down the centre, Bet and Win, Muscle Mountain a neck away, Hidden Talent having a crack at the pier, Bet and Win, he's got a fight for glory, Bet and Win wins the Fred Shaw, Bet and Win beats Muscle Mountain, third across.
Right now on Over the Ditch, back, been a little while. Cam Bray, hello.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Very, very well. Just a quick little catch-up. Well, not a quick catch-up. We can go for as long as we want. Going forward, we've got the Harness Million on this weekend, 2 heats. Getting in trouble if I say the S. Been reliably informed by Martin Pearson that it's only the 1 million on offer. But firstly, those races, the NZB Standardbred races, are on. So that's exciting.
Yeah, for the 3-year-olds, yeah, it is very exciting. Yeah.
Good fields.
Yeah, there are 2 good fields for the paces. Yeah, obviously the trot's been moved further out in the year to sort of line up with the other racing going on. But no, more than happy with the fields we've got for the 2 pacing finals.
Saw some great racing last weekend. The filly beside me won't be contesting, but the second, third, fourths all going around. So that, I mean, exposed form, but terrific form too with some of these horses.
We're really lucky actually with the graduates. We've got some really strong fields. The market's probably narrowed in on 1 or 2, but I think on their day, there's definitely 1 or 2 chances.
Yeah. Well, there's always 1 or 2. There's plenty as a rule. The boys must be wrapped 1 full field, 14 or 13 runners to go around. The scratching's already out the 8 and the outside the front, but magic. You know, a lot of horses aligned, headed up by Marketplace. But you've got to be serious. Like, I'll flip that to that, and then people will be able to see the whole field. You've also got the Chocolates and Rivera won last week. Got the Chocolates, just does a terrific job all the time. Horses like Demon Blue, the Better Deal out the back. It's a great field, really exciting field, but probably headed up, and rightfully so, by Marketplace.
Yeah, he's the form horse. He's the 2-year-old of his year. And from the display put on Fresh Up last Friday night, he's certainly got a turn of foot, hasn't he?
It was exciting, wasn't it? Did you watch it?
I did, yeah. Very exciting run.
Yeah, I tell people to go back and watch it, and it's just phenomenal. You only have to watch the last 400 metres, and it'll take it'll take 26.1 seconds, I suppose, officially. But Marketplace was just... astronomical. The
ground he made up was unbelievable, wasn't it?
I liken it to a dog, what you picture a dog swimming underwater. Like, the feet just don't look like they're touching the ground; they're just skipping over it. It's just magic.
Yeah.
So, it was great to watch. Cam, the NZB Standardbred, the yearling sales have just been finished. You've wrapped in the how everything's ended up. You ended up clearing quite a few afterwards as well.
Yeah, so we've got to 80-odd% clearance rate, which is really pleasing. Obviously, the numbers have been widely publicised. It's been a tremendous yearling sales series, so we're really happy, to be honest, with how it all went. You know, like all horse sales, you're going to get the odd person that's not going to get the result that they are possibly wanting. But at the end of the day, in the main, I thought it was a very good sale.
Capped off, I suppose started off at Karaka with some amazing scenes with 3 colts, 2 of them for 360 and 1 for 250,
something like that. Yeah, off the top of my head. Yeah,
me too. Should have done a little bit more homework for the trotter. All of those being records. Actually, no, it wasn't a record for the trotter. Sorry, but just an amazing scenes. And then to go down in Christchurch, and see it just continue was brilliant as well.
One of the probably there's a lot of takeaways from the sale. The median rising is really good. So, averages have increased, and obviously they will with the number of $100,000+ lots, which doubled in both sessions. So that in itself is very pleasing. Just shows you the strength of that top end. Obviously, there's been some great initiatives put forward by the industry. And coupled with the New Zealand Sire Stakes Board, all of a sudden these horses are racing for quite significant money. And people have seen that and have invested that way, which is really good. But the median itself climbing is a good sign. So we're narrowing the distance between top and bottom, which is good. And for that to carry on down into Christchurch again, that was double the 100,000+ lots compared to last year. So just shows you the strength in the market is certainly there.
And the presentation in horses right across from everyone was outstanding. Doesn't matter which island you were. The presentation by the people, the buyers, the buy-in from the buyers as well was outstanding. And from my point of view, being able to talk to a lot of these people that bought these horses, I'm only more than happy to get their message out there, which is what we want. So exciting. It's not over though. Just a slight change of date. So we're going to June 26th now for the weanling sales.
Yeah, so we're going back about a month. Obviously, with number of things that have gone on in the industry recently, like Savella and bits and pieces sort of lowering their numbers, Woodlands too. We've made the move to, which I think is a real positive move, is to blend the two weanling sales together. So that'll be done all on the 26th of June, where we'll start with the thoroughbreds in the morning, which, you know, there could be anywhere from 100 to 200 of those, and then follow on with the standardbreds later in the day. So I think it gives the wonderful thing from our perspective. We've now got two industries that are on an upward trajectory, and it gives the opportunity, and we've seen more and more of it over recent years, the sort of cross-coding. And it's a great way to bring those two together.
Yeah, it is. And the amount of buyers will be there. And we saw recently, Brecon Farms actually got the shirt on, but getting thoroughbred buyers to at least the parade, showcasing these horses. Again, there's going to be people there. They're going to be able to see it. You know, it was recently explained to me, someone I did an interview, and they were saying about how often people are realising how often a standardbred can race as compared to a thoroughbred. The prize money, but the prestige, you can own it, you can touch it. It's such a great experience. We could get one or two, you know, that'd be a great result. Imagine if we got 15, 20 thoroughbred people investing in weanlings at this sale.
Well, the interesting thing where I think the thoroughbreds have done a far better job than standardbreds over the years has been able to attract an investor and make it an actual business. And the fact that we're going to be able to have exposure from the standardbreds to that business is only but positive, and vice versa. We've seen over the years a number of harness participants sort of dabble in the thoroughbred market, and very successfully too. So there's a lot of synergy there. Again, it's probably from a commercial sense quite a good thing, because we had once two small sales, putting them together. It will be a big day for everyone involved. But again, we're doing it in one day. We'll be able to expose both parties to new groups of people, which at the end of the day, we are really two small industries. And if we can get as much cross-coding as we can, build the interest between the two codes, that's nothing but positive.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And we need it. We need it to be able to continue to grow. Cam, I could talk to you forever and a day. Entries close 24th of April. Want to make sure we get that message out there. This is actually good. You're on a tight timeline, so it's actually quite a lot shorter chat for you and I. But we want to make sure that people know that the entries close April 24. I believe there's some chance Macca Lodge will be bringing some more horses back. There's some talk of that.
Yeah, there is talk of some weanlings coming from the south. I haven't actually seen the entries come forward yet, but there will be some. There will be a spread geographically throughout. One big take home for everyone for this, probably purposes of this, is it will be released in the next day or so. But Harness Racing New Zealand have extended the Next Gen project to weanlings as well. So weanlings side by side, standing in their first 3 seasons, will be eligible for Next Gen. So as far as the size is concerned.
Yep, so that is exciting. So we'll get more information on that over the next coming weeks. I don't know if I'll be able to catch up next week. I've got a lot on next week, but hopefully the week after we'll be able to get some out there. But entries do close going from there. There's a great story too with Macca's, because Macca took, what did he say, 6 or 7 the first year? And one of those, I think, has already won twice. One of the horses. So great result for Macca. I mean, it was a lot of work for him, a lot of work for you guys behind the scenes to get them there. But the fact that they're leaving winners on the North Island, maybe something people may not have seen those horses. So, you know, it works.
Well, now, and one of the biggest motivations behind it was that they obviously they'll have the semen rights to a new horse down there called Perfect Sting. So it'll be opportunity to get them into the market nice and early. So if they then do decide, or anyone else does decide, to take a Perfect Sting to the yearling sales, obviously there's been some exposure of them already. We saw how good that worked with Captain Crunch. So I'm saying they're working from a pretty solid recipe, to be fair.
No, absolutely. Cam, anyone wants to get in touch with you, go to nzbstandardbred.co.nz. .co.nz is the best way to get in touch. Go through the contact there, contact the girls in the office. That's about nominating weanlings, but also if people want to come be a part of what I reckon is one of the best sales going around, not for quality or lack of quality, if you like. I just think it's one of the great occasions where people can get together in a much more relaxed manner around the sales and enjoy themselves with like-minded people. Still be able to buy champion horses. You know, I know NZB didn't sell copy of that in my hard copy, but they went through that sale. Like, I mean, there's some huge graduates, actually had the graduates that have come up through here. Artie by the Seaside, Alta Meteor, Forever Dream, Mantra Blue, Maestro, Sinbad, Turn the Page, Davy Dooley, Kiss, My Ultimate Racer Girl, all graduates through the NZB sales catalogue as well. So, but it is an awesome sale to be a part of as far as the way people conduct themselves. Is that probably fair, Cam?
Yeah. And to be fair, the dynamic's going to change slightly, but ultimately it's a very good sale. It's the pressure might be on us a little bit more this year, but it's sort of been in the past quite a relaxed atmosphere where it will be slightly different makeup this year, obviously, because of the fact that there is quite a number of thoroughbreds on the complex too. But it's going to add a new and more exciting element for everybody.
Be a part of it. Say you're there on the first day as well. So that's going to be super exciting. Cam, thank you very much, mate. Really appreciate the time. We will be catching up. I might even get you on loose lines on a full night one night, but I have to try and fit that into your busy schedule. You're bumping me off to something very shortly, so always a struggle. But thank you, mate. Appreciate it. And as I said, contact NZB Standardbred.co.nz for more information. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Good on you, Paul.